It's Transformers here with another video review. This time we have the Marvel Legends Avengers Wave Thanos Build-A-Figure. So of course Thanos is the Build-A-Figure for this wave. I was super stoked when I found out that Thanos would be the Build-A-Figure of a wave. He was first shown at like Comic-Con or Toy Fair a year ago or so, and I was very excited to see that because I love Thanos. Everybody's got to love Thanos, and I'm a huge villains fan, and it doesn't get much better than Thanos anyway. So, and I love Build-A-Figures as well, so it was just, double great for me. Very happy that he was the Build-A-Figure. So, very happy that the time has come where he's released, and here I've got him right in front of you. Overall, looking really quite good, very menacing, and overall just great. Going over the actual sculpt of the figure, one thing that I really love about this figure is the face sculpt. Bring the camera up a bit. As you can see, this face sculpt looks really great. It looks like he really did just pop right off of the comic book. And the face is quite large, I must say. It's not very, tall, but it has a girth to it. It is quite large, which is really cool. Goes with his muscular body, of course. And overall just looks awesome. I really do like the fact that they did go for a smile. I think that that's better than a serious look face. But that being said, I would have really liked him to come with an extra head that did have a more serious, menacing type of look rather than the kind of evil smile. Although I really do love the evil smile, so I definitely like this head sculpt. It just would have been nice if they gave us a second one for different option in display and posing. Overall, the actual figure itself, he is quite bulky, as you can see, going throughout it. Really quite a muscular character, of course. And then his paint is really nice. I mean, it's a really great, very dark blue, but like a metallic dark blue, which is really cool. It shines really well, especially in the arms and legs. The torso seems to use a slightly, and I mean slightly different shade of this blue. It's basically the same shade, it's just not as shiny. As you can see, comparing the arms to the body, and you can see it right here, even it stops right where you would connect the leg. So just the piece that comes with Batroc is slightly less shiny than on the other pieces for this Build-A-Figure. The gold is quite nice. They didn't go overboard with the gold. They kept it a very dark but yet still shiny a gold color, and then you do have like more of a bright yellow highlights in there as well, so that's quite nice. And overall, I think that they did it really well. And then you've got a really nice bright silver in the legs there, like in between the armor bits almost, and then on the knuckles. I really like the fact that he does have the silver on the knuckles. That's something that you really don't see with many Thanos figures, but this one has it, which is just an extra little detail, which I do like a lot. Moving the camera back so you can get a better look there. As you can see, looking really cool. So you will need to buy Batroc, the Mark 43, Captain America, Hulk, and then either Spider-Woman or Hellcat. Spider-Woman and Hellcat both come with the head and left arm, which I find very surprising as well. They should have just packed one with the head and one with the arm. But for some reason, I don't know why they didn't end up doing that. Overall, I think that they did go with a modern costume of Thanos, which a lot of people are not liking. A lot of people would have preferred more of a classic costume Thanos, which, I have mixed feelings about. I think the classic one would have been really awesome as well, but I love the modern one anyway, so I really don't have a problem with the Thanos, the version of Thanos that they chose. I think it was quite a good one, and what's nice about this version that they chose is that he's very modern looking, almost, quite realistic, so he would fit in pretty nicely with a movie Avengers shelf. If you want to put him there, or with the Guardians of the Galaxy, I think that he will fit in quite well, rather than if they did the actual like classic version of Thanos. I think he would have looked quite out of place. Overall, he is a decent size. Going over a figure that's very large, but still is just a regular figure, and then a figure that's more slender but more standard size. As you can see, sorry, I hit the camera there. As you can see, he is very big though. Comparing him to Spider-Man, which I would consider a very, very petite but still a normal sized Marvel Legends character, he really towers over him and really has that Build-A-Figure type of feel. But when you compare him to somebody else in his wave, like the Hulk there, he is much smaller, or not much smaller, but he is actually shorter than the Hulk, and his muscles and everything are about the same size as the Hulk anyway. So overall, I know that a lot of people find that off putting when a figure in the wave is just as big as the Build-A-Figure. That's a little disappointing. But that being said, Hulk is a very large figure, not your typical one, so it's a little unfair to compare him to that, just because, you know, Hulk is so big. And they've already released Hulk in a regular figure, so it's not like they could have made Hulk the Build-A-Figure, or else it would have looked like they were just cheaping out with their Build-A-Figure choice. So I understand why they released Hulk as a regular figure and not as like a Build-A-Figure. But overall, the actual design of the characters, I really don't like the legs and the thighs of this Hulk. So I think that the quality of the figure, the Thanos, is actually a better one anyway, even if he's not as massive as that one is. Comparing Thanos to the other Build-A-Figures of 2015, here we have Odin, which is a part of the first wave, and then a part of the second wave we have Hobgoblin. As you can see, the Build-A-Figures from this year have been a little strange, as far as we did get one that's quite a decent size with Odin. You know, he's quite tall, he's muscular, but he's not super muscular, and he comes with quite a bit of accessories. Then we have the Hobgoblin, who's very skinny and the same type of size as a standard figure, but comes with a few accessories. And you have Thanos, which is quite a tall figure, very bulky though in his size, but with no accessories. So it's a bit interesting how they did the Build-A-Figure choices. If I had to pick my favorite Build-A-Figure of the year so far, it would definitely be Thanos. Character-wise, I think he's much better, first of all, and second of all, he just has a cooler look to him. Both the Odin and Hobgoblin, for some reason, I've almost thought that they look a bit cartoonish, and I think that has to do with the lack of shading and depth in their paint job. While Thanos, on the other hand, has that depth. He has the really nice dark gold paint scheme, as well as the very dark blue but very shiny look on his suit, and then his face is the bright purple or light purple with the but it also has the black washed into it, which gives it a more realistic look, which is why I've no concern with Thanos. I completely see him as a comic book looking figure, while Odin and Hobgoblin look a bit cartoonish still, which is a little unfortunate. They're still quite comic book like, but they do have a slightly more cartoonish look than this Thanos does. I do agree with that. So yeah, overall, really liking this Thanos though. When you go over articulation, he's got a bull hinge neck, so he can look up quite far. He can look down a pretty decent amount as well, which is really cool. And then he has an ab crunch. It's really just has two hinges, one that has him slightly leaned forward, and then one that has him slightly leaned back. So there isn't really any extreme poses that you can do with this ab crunch. He has ball hinge shoulders, which are quite nice, bicep swivels, just a single hinge elbow, which doesn't hinge very much at all, which is a shame. And then he does have hinge swiveling wrists, no waist swivel, I don't believe. Then he has a ball jointed thigh, which really isn't really hindered too much by his little skirt here, but it is hindered slightly. A thigh swivel, double hinge knees, a swivel at the boot, and then a hinge pivoting ankle, which is really nice. So overall, articulation is quite good with him, I must say. It definitely you can do some really dynamic poses. Obviously, with his bulk, he can be a little bit hard to pose sometimes, just because of his large muscles and everything like that. But other than that, it is quite nice. I will unfortunately, the boots seem a little too loose for my taste. They slightly kind of move on their own sometimes, which is annoying because you can kind of work out a really nice pose and then you realize his foot's like that. So I really don't like how loose these swivels are. Not anything like they're gonna fall off or anything, just little annoying stuff. I like the fact that they swiveled too much. So yeah, I do like that he can look up and down quite far though. I think that really helps the dynamic pose nature of the figure. And I'm very happy with that. So what I would have liked to see them do is, instead of give Spider-Woman and Hellcat the same accessory, what would have been nice is to get Spider-Woman that came with a laughing, smiling head. This one, they came with this head sculpt, and then came with a more serious head sculpt. And then it would be great for Hellcat to come with his arm, and then an extra piece, just the extra gauntlet for the Infinity Gauntlet. There's really no reason why this one doesn't come with the Infinity Gauntlet, and because he did use it in this story arc when he looked like this in the modern comics, so I don't know why they didn't include that with him. That would have been definitely necessary and needed, and something that I think a lot of people would have had a lot of fun with and posed him with for sure, but unfortunately we didn't get that. So overall, a really nice Build-A-Figure, I have to say. Definitely a character that I love, so it definitely helps me like the figure here, obviously, but overall a great figure in general. I really do like it a lot, and I think he's quite great. And this kind of marks the more going up in size of Build-A-Figures. I think the next Build-A-Figure is going to be Hulkbuster, and that'll be a massive one, so I'm very excited for that one. Overall, a really nice Build-A-Figure. Would highly recommend building him, especially since you only have to buy 5 figures to build him when you usually have to buy 6, so that's nice as well if you don't want to buy too many. So there you go, that's my very review of the Marvel Legends from the Avengers series Thanos Build-A-Figure. Thanks so much for watching.